Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are starting chapter 25, the chapter we've all been waiting for, because I'm hoping that's where all the answers are. We still have so many questions left unanswered, and hopefully that'll change. So let's go ahead and start. Sit, one of them commands, and all of us immediately do. Silently, the group of military people spread out around the clearing to surround us. They shift the focus of their rifles off of us and hold them braced in front, and I quietly expel a breath of relief. Mary Jo holding a gun to us is one thing, but the military? Yeah, so much more intimidating. The one who commanded sit points to where Mary, Jo, and Beans and I are. I want all of you here, now. Everyone immediately moves, scurrying across the clearing to sit beside me and Beans and Mary Jo. Two of the military guys pick up the one trussed boy and carry him over to drop him next to our clump. The vibrating noise becomes louder, and I glance across to see the balls going from orange to red. Automatically, my friends and I inch closer to one another, and I feel one of them shaking. No, wait, that's me. Scarlett grabs my hand, I grab Beans's, and one by one we all link fingers. I'm sorry, I murmur, apologizing again. Finn slides Hoppy into his lap. This is all of our faults. Scarlett squeezes my hand. We're in this together, she says, and Beans and Rocky both nod. Tears blur across my eyes and I sniff. My stupid friends. Gosh, I love them. We watch as one of the military men crouches beside the glowing spheres. He consults his watch and then presses his finger to an earpiece as he listens to whoever is on the other end. Abruptly, he stands and shouts, "Incoming!" A gush of wind whips through the clearing then, and several of the military move in to protect our clump as a whooping noise fills the air. What's that? Scarlett yells. The whooping gets louder. A helicopter! Beans yells back, and louder still. My black braids whip my face, and I cover my ears with my hands as I glance up to see a helicopter whirl over the tree line to hover above us. Three people dressed in the same camo fatigues zip down to land in the clearing. As soon as their feet hit the charred grass, they unclip their zip lines and the helicopter takes off again, tilting and whooping off across the sky. One of the new people is carrying a hard black case, and together the three of them sprint over to the walls. As the men kneel next to the spheres and lay down the case, I look at their faces and realize the one with the case is Dad? Dad! I shout. He looks over at me and holds up his hands. Stay there, sweetie. I look over at Beans like he might have the answer to my silent question. What is my dad doing here? Oh my gosh, does he hunt aliens? Holy cow, Dad is cool. I watch as Dad flips the case open and spreads it wide. Black foam lines the interior, and a ball just like the others already sits inside. It's also glowing red. Quickly, Dad pulls on a pair of thick gloves and carefully picks up the first vibrating sphere in the pile. Fear works its way through my chest as I continue watching him. Please be careful. Please. He places a sphere inside the case. Then he does the same with another, and another, and another, working swiftly and cautiously to cradle each within the black foam. The last one is the larger one with all the knobs. Dad rotates the ball, studying it, and then turns one of the knobs before placing the ball in the center of the case and grabbing what looks like a remote. He points at the case and presses some buttons, and the spheres go from vibrating to full-on shaking. One of the military guys kneeling beside him stands up and backs away, and I watch as Dad points the remote at the case and punches more buttons. The spheres get redder and redder and redder still, and the guy who backed away casts a nervous look around the clearing. The color of the balls shifts again, going from red back to orange, from orange to yellow, from yellow to white. And the spheres begin glowing brighter and brighter, and so bright now I have to squint to keep looking, like looking into the sun. That's not normal, I hear one of the military people whisper. I clench Scarlett's fingers and Beans clenches mine. Feverishly, Dad jabs at more buttons. It's too late! Did he turn the right knob? I hear someone else ask at the exact second. Dad yells, "Cover!" Every single military person standing around throws their body on top of us. Through the gaps in the arms and legs, I watch as lasers zing from the orbs, connecting them all, glowing so brightly that it hurts to look. I feel the intensity on my face as the radiance heats my skin. 2 people race towards Dad, and they are carrying a metal box. Dad closes the lid on the black case, and the bright light dims to a glow that I can see through the seams. Carefully, he lifts and places the case in the metal box before locking the lid. And then he and the other 2 people leave everything there and take off sprinting across the clearing right toward us. Boom! The metal box lifts about a foot off the ground and silver dust shoots out of its seams. Then the metal box falls back down to the dirt and starts popping around as the spheres punch out from the inside, leaving huge dents in the box. But just as quickly as it went off, the box comes to a sudden stop. Panting, I gaze out from under all the people, searching for my dad. He's right here, on top of our body pile. Slowly, everyone begins crawling off, and after that, Scarlett's shaking is the first thing I notice. Then Finn's breathing, heavy, but not wheezing. Beans' death grip on my arm comes to me third. Rocky's heartbeat filters in last, and I realize he's pressed up against me, protecting me. All of us actually are squished together, protecting one another. Me and the scouts, with Hoppy in the middle of all of us. I blink a few times but see only dots. Blink a few more times and my vision slowly returns. I look for Dad again and he's already back across the clearing near the metal box, talking to several of the military people. "We're alive! We're alive!" Everyone moves around, beginning to clean up, and Dad crosses the charred grass back our way. I don't waste a second, jumping up and running into his arms. "Dad!" I sob into his shoulder. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." He doesn't say anything, just squeezes me tight, and I think it has to be about the best hug he's ever given me. Dad finally lets go. "You, my dear, are in a lot of trouble." He casts a disciplinary look over at my friends. "All of you are." Yeah, I saw that coming. 2 of the military people cut Mary Jo and her son from their restraints, and once she's on her feet again, she turns a snarly look onto my dad. "Where's our money?" she demands. Dad shakes his head. "We don't pay for misinformation." Scarlett jabs her finger in the Mason's direction. "They kidnapped us and locked us in the shed." "Oh, we didn't hurt them," Mary Jo waves off Scarlett's accusation. "We was just trying to keep them in one place like you said. We called ya, didn't we?" Me and my friends all look at each other. What is she talking about? Dad turns to Otis and merely lifts his brows, clearly wanting an explanation. Otis casts a guilty look to the ground. "Things did get a little out of hand, but we didn't hurt him. Scared him, sure. Every kid needs a good lesson every now and then." "Your job," my dad says, "was to keep them in one place if you found them, and to consult on the terrain." Otis gives a little shrug. "Oh, sorry," he mumbles. Dad folds his arm and looks between Otis and Mary Jo, and then he turns and looks at all of us. "Did they hurt you?" Reluctantly, we all shrug and shake our heads because the truth is, the Masons didn't actually hurt us. They just scared us real good. "See," Mary Jo says, "they is fine. And I bet they did learn a lesson with all their lying and snooping." She straightens up. "Thanks to us." Okay, so we did lie and snoop, I grudgingly admit. But it's not your job to teach us a lesson. You really did scare us. In response, Mary Jo just snorts. But what about Old Man Bassinger?" Scarlett stammers. "We think they might have killed him." Mary Jo scrunches up her face. "We ain't ever killed nobody. And I saw a Bassinger just the other day." "But you have his shotgun in your shed," Scarlett says. Mary Jo scoffs. "I've had that thing for over a decade. Bassinger gave it to us in exchange for some moonshine." "Then whose skeleton was that?" I ask. Dad holds his hands up. It's true. Mr. Bassinger is alive and well." "What skeleton are you talking about?" "In the cave, Dad. There was a skeleton, and it was wearing a hat with Old Man Bassinger's name on it." Edge burst out laughing. I can't believe you guys fell for that fake bag of bones. I wish I could have been there when you found it. Did you scream? He laughed some more. I bought that at a Halloween shop a couple of years ago. I was actually hoping one of my cousins would find it. He slaps his leg and hoots some more. I scowl at him, and Scarlet steps right up and kicks him in the shin. Ow! Edge jumps back, and I smirk. Rocky narrows his eyes. You were hanging near the cave waiting to see if someone found it, weren't you? Edge shrugs. Sort of. I was actually out looking for the meteor when I ran into you all. That's the only reason why you teamed up with us. Why you were so nice to us. You knew we were your best bet at finding it. Beans peels his lips off his braces. Dad gives Edge a good long study. You're one of the passengers, aren't you? What? My jaw drops. You never said that. Edge shrugs again. Harmless omission. I turn to my dad. He locked us in that shelter, and he was going to steal. I was going to let you out, Edge says. Or, at minimum, tell somebody where you all were. My jaw drops again. What, after you kept everything for yourself? You're awful. Dad motions a military guy over. One of my team will give you a ride home. I'll be talking to your parents and your grandfather tomorrow. Edge's cockiness disappears, and I grin. Good. He deserves whatever he gets for being so mean. And to think I thought he was cute. Dad nods to the Mason clan. My team will escort you home, too. Mary Jo casts one last growly look our way before heading off. Junior, I call, and he turns around. Thank you again. He gives a little smile and nod, and I watch as he jogs across the grass and ducks between two trees. With his arms folded, Dad turns and looks at all of us. Now for you all, the fort, the treehouse, the basement, all the little notes you left. There will be no more of that. There will also be no more camping trips. I can't speak for your parents, but I will say Annie's grounded for the whole summer. That's a long time. There's silence for a moment as the punishment sinks in. Scarlet nudges me and whispers, Your dad's pretty great. I nod. He is. This whole thing, this is why Dad kept telling me to stay at Rocky's. He knew something might happen with the meteor shower. Are you a spy, Dad? Because I always thought he was an accountant. I work for the Department of Defense, he says. What you saw was a top secret project. It was being tested during the meteor shower, and obviously several things went wrong. So they were bombs? Beans asked. They weren't supposed to be, but it was turning into that. The red, the vibrating, the closer the components came to each other, the more they reacted. I don't think you kids realize how close we came to an explosion. We all exchanged a surprised look. Thank God the military showed up. Then, what were they supposed to be? Rocky asks. Dad smiles a little. Without giving great detail, it was a spy satellite system we were testing. Wow. What were you spying on? A few things in the area, Dad cryptically says with an involuntary glance in the direction of the caves. A spark of curiosity has me exchanging silent looks with my friends. No. Dad points at all of us. Get those looks off your faces. Like I said, we were testing the satellite system. And if all went well, we plan to use it for other classified things. However, as you saw, things didn't go as planned. What was the silvery stuff that was everywhere? Scarlet asked. Yeah, Finn says, looking down at some of it stuck to his arm. We're not infected, are we? Dad chuckles. No. Best way I can explain the silver dust is that it's like exhaust. It spewed out of the balls as they trekked through the sky. It will not harm you. Don't worry. Dad motions toward his team working all around us. By the time they're done cleaning, it'll be like none of this even happened. What about the Masons, I ask. It seemed like you knew them. Actually, Mr. Mason helped us 5 years ago with some mapping of the caves. When we were having difficulties obtaining signals from the project this time around, we asked him to assist in the ground search. It was about that time that I realized you kids were gone, and I asked him to keep an eye out for you as well. Dad makes eye contact with each of us. I deal with some pretty scary things in my job, but nothing has ever been as terrifying as thinking about you kids out here in the hills by yourself. You will never scare me like that again. Do you understand? We nod. I glance over at Beans, and it hits me what this all means. There's no crashed meteor, no money. Beans is leaving. I grasp his arm. We can still figure it out, I tell him, and my brain scrambles for a new plan. Anything that'll stop my best friend from leaving. With a sad smile, he shakes his head. He's given up. But I don't accept that. We can still figure something out, can't we? We have to. But even as my mind races, the reality of the whole situation sinks in. One of my best friends is moving, and no amount of plotting or strategy is going to change that. It's out of my hands. We're just going to have to figure out how to see each other, even though we'll be an hour apart, because there's no way I'm saying goodbye to Beans. Eventually, the place is cleaned up and Dad leads us away, along with the rest of his team. But it's only when we're away from the clearing and back in the woods that I remember the metal box. The military people never did take it. Pausing for a second, I glance over my shoulder through the trees and back into the clearing, and my hands fly to my mouth. There by the box, looking down at it with egg-shaped eyes, stands a tall thing with long arms and legs, a small head, and skin that seems both speckled with green and also see-through at the same time. I blink hard, not even sure if I'm actually seeing the creature or not. But as quick as it's there, it's gone. I'm sorry, did she just see an alien? What? So, did that really answer questions? Yeah, okay, so we know about the Mason clan, and Edge is one of the passengers. But we still don't fully know about those satellite balls, right? I don't believe that. The military makes up stuff to protect us. Area, what's that called? Area something? With the aliens? Right here, hello. Okay, so we have one more chapter to go. I'm gonna record it right now, and then you can jump on over and we'll finish Scouts. See you there.